Sophie Stalla Bourdillon. My background is in information technology law. I started some years ago by a PhD in Florence at the European University Institute on intermediary liability, and then went to Southampton Law School where I initiated my academic career. I'm deeply involved in research and policy work, and to give you some examples, I've acted as an expert for several international organizations, and the Council of Europe, the Venice Commission, and the European Commission. I am truly fascinated by the interplay between the law and technology, and in particular by all the recent law and policy making, both at the national and EU level. If I give you some examples in the field of copyright, for example, but also data protection or media law. What is fascinating to see is that we are in an environment that evolves very quickly, and politicians tend to want a quick fix to some fundamental issues. I can give you the example of fake news, for example, where they're all trying to regulate everything and try to delegate as much as they can to private actors. I started with a PhD on intermediary liability, essentially the liability of online service providers, such as access providers, search engines, but also online platforms, for example. And then expanded, looking at issues relating to data protection, anonymization, pseudonymization, and information security, digital identity. But if you look at all these topics together, you can see that they all have one point in common: the key role played by private actors. At the minute, I'm working on 2 EU research projects, one which is on digital identity and the other one on incubation services. So it's about creating a platform when you can have data providers coming and working with SMEs on the other side, trying to find solutions in order to innovate. My research can have at least 2 types of impact. The first one would be a means to enlighten and inform policy and lawmakers, be it at the national or European level. And the second one would be for businesses as a means to better understand how they need to change their practices in order to be compliant with the new legal framework, particularly in the field of data protection. The thing that is the most exciting is the fact that the law is in the making, is changing very rapidly and obviously very often. And the students feel engaged because they are using new technologies on a daily basis. Studying a subject like internet law will teach you problem-solving skills. So it's not enough, obviously, to memorize rules to study a subject like this. They will learn how to communicate orally, but also how to write in a legal fashion. Students will be able to use their knowledge for that purpose, but they will learn also how to be creative. And actually, creativity is a key skill for lawyers. If you want to become a proficient lawyer, you will need to be creative. So my personal take on the issue would be to say that in the future, so I'm looking in the future now, teaching law will not only mean, or not necessarily mean, teaching a classical law module, but teaching law will mean teaching law with the support of technology. And when I say technology, I mean automated or partially automated legal workflows, for example, on one side, and maybe on the other side, even artificial intelligence. I'm not saying that students are going to be, or lawyers are going to be replaced by robots, but the best lawyers will be the ones who are actually able to use the technology in order to support their work.